Welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. So we've got kind of a R&B, slow rock kind of groove here, but it's got a real bounce to it. I'm just going to show it to you real quick, the chords. It's in B and it starts on B, and then E, C sharp minor, back to the E. Okay. The other day, I always in the previous video, I always forget that if you're watching this a year from now, it doesn't matter if it was the other day. That doesn't mean anything to you. So in the previous video, and I'll have a link to this in the description. I just put a drum beat down, same drum beat that I built this backing track off of today, by the way. It's at 81 beats per minute if you're using devices where that information helps you somehow. Um, so in that one, we just played that drum beat and just kind of worked out on that groove, right? And worked out a few of the little, transitional licks. It was kind of almost kind of drift away stuff, right? Kind of a classic rock approach to this style, and you know, just settled into the groove. Well, today we're going to build on that by adding some more improvisational ideas in a few different places on the neck, mostly in this location right here, using the B major scale and a lot of the chords mixed in there. In this style, I don't, when I think of soloing, I mean, when I'm in there doing it, I find myself not just using the notes from triads, to sort of make licks out of, but like just playing a lot of chord rhythm mixed in there, right? Something like this. This is just another little example, and we'll get you going here. All I did was add a rhythm guitar and bass to that drum beat from the last video, and so that's what we're working with today. This is so much fun. I love this style, and I just don't, I like to play a lot of different things in a solo too, but for some reason for this, I don't really get into like, you know, kind of the more legato, rock licks and a lot of the big bends and stuff. I just like that staying in that groove and just using a few notes to really dance with it in there. So I'm going to try to kind of convey what that's like for me in a way that you can mess around with and add it to your stuff. Real quick, so I'll have a link in the description to that previous video, right? With a couple of other links. The new Patreon page, which we're having fun over there too. So if you want to come by and check it out, support us over there, we really appreciate it. And also, just real quick, there's a new Tao of Twang open mic, is what it's called. It's a Facebook group. You have to join it. It's a private group, but it's your peers in there, posting videos of themselves playing over these backing tracks, and everybody just supporting each other, and it's really fun. I think there's about 50 people in there right now, and it's only been up there for a couple weeks, and we're having fun over there too. So definitely check that out. So I kind of gave you like my overview of this kind of style, right? And of course, you want to take everything that we do on Tao of Twang and work it right into what you're doing. But here's just some ideas of kind of how I approach this. Now, it's in B. and I'm using mostly the B major scale, okay, and a little bit of major pentatonic. But when you see a lot of consecutive notes that look like a diatonic, a sequence, it's going to be the notes from B major. So you can start by kind of messing around with that. This sounds so good. See, now I just stuck that major pentatonic right in there. So I like that little pocket right there. And here's what's going on in there. I'm doing a lot of. All right, so it's that B. And then I guess that's the fourth of that B major. That's just a good note in there because it's the third of our C sharp minor, and it's the root of our E. That note has a lot going for it here, right? And I just like that neighboring note to that half step sound right there. So just using that and kind of working out your chord sequence with and improvising a little just around that note is going to take you pretty far. When I bend this, it's more like a major pentatonic type of frame, right? One of my singers that I used to play with years ago, he loved that. We used to call it the disco lick. You got to put the disco like, dude, we can't do that on every song. Like that, yeah, that's cool for some stuff, but he'd be like, oh, that'll work right here. And I was like, yeah, it'll work in a lot of places. It just reminded me of it. But that is a cool way to get your ear acclimated. I'm taking that B and dancing with it. When you're multi-tracking in a tune, and you have the opportunity to arrange different guitar parts and stuff, a lot of times you'll hear something like that just kind of off in the corner. That I like to work that right into my kind of soloing ideas too. Okay, see, now there one I really want to demonstrate it, like it doesn't come off as, as good as it does if I'm just kind of in there dancing around with it, right? But that's a good way to kind of stay in the groove and just kind of, coordinate your two hands and really just feel it before you start moving out in other directions more, right? So remember, I love that note in here. And so when you're over the E, you've got like a Lydian sound for E, right? I just love that. So you can back that up there, as well. And then the other thing that I did that you may have noticed in that intro was I didn't mean to do this, but after I usually I'll take a few passes to do these intro demonstrations, and sometimes I'll just kind of play. It's just kind of stream of consciousness, but sometimes it will end up where a melody will just a motif will just emerge from it almost instantly, and that happened on this one with this. And the notes. I already did it. I noticed I did it a couple minutes ago when I was just showing you kind of this pocket right here. Now I've got that like internalized, so I keep coming back to the. And I harmonized it in that intro in a different way once by going. Right. And it's, you can try that in different places. I think it's happening between the E and the C sharp minor is where I'm putting it in. But I didn't really like map all that out, think it all out, right? It just started happening. And it kept happening in the same part of the progression, which is kind of neat when that happens. I'll do it again. Okay. And, it. You can just work that out, make. See, if I try to slow it down and put it under the microscope too much, I might play a note that's not the right note, but my ear catches it right away. So you can do that yourself. You take that line. I think in the intro at the end of it, I went down and played that little piece of an E. Okay? Don't overthink it. Trust your ear. Watch what I'm doing with my hand, but then stop the video and like work it out. You'll get it. And other things that just emerge for you, like motifs like that. And if you feel something like that, it just feels like there's like a signature right away that you have about any kind of jam or improvisation. Really dig into that. Let it happen. Be open to that, right? And don't judge it, because even if you kind of modify it later or you have to work out, a lot of times you'll go for it and you won't have all the fingering down. You'll kind of hit some wrong notes and stuff, but keep doubling down on that stuff, because that's your ear really leading you to what you want to hear, not just your head saying play the blah scale or whatever, right? That's when the music is really taking over for you. And it helps to have some music theory knowledge so that you just increase your chances of being able to work it out, right? But it doesn't come from the theory. It comes from your heart, right? And I know that sounds pretty, pretty pie in the sky, but it's true. Let me know how this goes. It's a fun one. Keep it laid back. And if you want to check us out on Patreon, we'd appreciate it. Love to see you over in that Tao of Twang open mic group on Facebook. A lot of fun and a lot of really good support for everybody going on there. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.